Like, what's wrong with you, yo? What you ready to drop a song or something, yo? You ready to drop a song or something?
Where your paperwork at? Where you try to hear all that?
Where my paperwork?
Where's the paperwork or something? Show it.
Paperwork or what?
You get locked up. Where's the police report? Something, show it.
Fuck you mean, show my, what you want me to show you my paperwork or the what? You act like I went to court or something.
You got arrested?
What did you say?
Where's your arrest at?
You've been out for 10 years and ain't go to jail yet.
You can look, see, you sound like the police right now.
What did you talking about?
You sound like the police right now. We not doing
nothing. Listen, fuck all that clown ass shit. What did you got my in your mouth for, yo?
Oh, man, I'm done, man.
What you got my in your mouth for, yo?
Man, you God, man. I'm God. Go ahead. On live, start your own live. I'm asking about a police report and all that. You talking about a police report? Yes, sir. Police report. A police report. Well, yes, sir. A police report. My police report is on the internet, sir. A police report. Where's your police report at? You getting on here and keep talking about, well, I got my dick in your mouth. Come on, stop all that. Stop all that. Stop all that.
Yo, what it is, people, we is back. Another day on Keep It G News. Now, before you get in this video, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. But y'all, we got to get to business. And before we get to the business, man, salute to all the guys, man. Straight up, all the men that took their time, came home, or even if they still in jail, they ain't take nobody with them. You know, because it's like, we dealing with a pandemic of people not wanting to be held accountable for their own decision making. And y'all, this is not more about the streets than it is about integrity, morals, principles, what do you stand on. That's why this conversation is important. You know, the average person look at this conversation and you think it's some street shit, but it ain't. It's about being who you say you is. It's about standing when you want to fall. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for lack of better words. Be who you say you is, man. If you want to live and die by this street shit, even though I don't think it's a good idea, but if this is what you signed up for, read the fine print. You know, because that's what we got going on now. It's almost like when you sign a disclosure or when you download a new app. Nobody reads the fine print. And the fine print when it come down to the street shit is, you got to stand tall, yo, when you probably really want to fall. It's only a few ways to get out of the street shit. You know, you can die, you can go to prison, you can come home after prison and change your life, or you can change your life before prison. But what you ain't never supposed to do is when it get tight on you, because it's going to be them moments, it's fold. It start cooperating with law enforcement. That is against the rules. Yes, y'all, there is rules. Even though people break rules. Just like in any society, in any situation. There is rules and rules get broken. No different in the streets. You can't say there's no rules to the streets when street rules get broken. That's like saying there's no rules to the world. There's no rules to driving. It's rules in everything in life. But what we have in today's society is people want to stretch the rules, or people want to apply the rules when it's beneficial. And then when it's not beneficial to them no more, they want to back away from the rules. So like I said, man, salute to everybody that did their time, stood tall. Salute to Lil X. If you're not from Baltimore, that was Lil X and Yne Sosa arguing about paperwork. And that's what brings us here today. You know, salute to YGG Tay, Roddy Rags, there's a few rap from my city. Lord Stacks, see my nephew. You know, people that name is silent, man. That's one of the worst things you can be, yo, is a dishonorable human being, man. I told y'all before, yo, most people that snitch also steal, also lie. That's why I say this conversation is bigger than the streets. But it's like now, in the world that we living in, is everybody want to stretch the rules or finesse the system. Because that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about, and it's crazy because we've been had this conversation over and over again, but in Baltimore, it's a new topic, so I'm bringing it to the world because I think people are still confused when it comes down to telling on the deed.
Give me like 30 days. I'm gonna show you what's going on. Yeah. Well, it's so crazy, man. I ain't gonna give you 2 months though. You know what I mean? Cause you know you gotta pay me for this shit right here. 20,000 watt, man. 20,000 for an hour, man. For real. 20,000 for an hour, man. Wasn't nothing like that, man. I just was goddamn controlling the algorithm, man. You know I don't give no fuck. You know I think I got other sons, you feel me? So, boom. Long story short, everybody investigate what they investigating right. Cause if you know, and you don't, you just don't know. But man, them niggas dead as fuck, man. Half of them, most of them niggas dead as shit. I don't know if nobody told y'all, but just go double check, man. Go look again.
Now that was Yne Sosa, y'all. From Baltimore, you familiar with Yne Sosa? I did a video on Yne Sosa. If you're not from Baltimore and it's the first time you watching the channel, it went crazy, made the news, so we ain't gonna get into the case. We ain't gonna get into the case. It's, you know, search online long enough, you might find something if YouTube ain't take it all down. But make a long story short, yo, some paperwork appeared that I guess it wasn't supposed to be privy to the public. And it detailed Yne Sosa cooperation. Now, Yne Sosa just got released from Alabama detention center maybe 2-3 days ago. And he came straight to the internet. And he came to the internet pushing the narrative. And the narrative that he's pushing is, I ain't getting nobody in trouble. All I did was tell on the dead. And y'all, this sounds very familiar because we keep having these conversations over and over and over and over again. And if you can remember, the first person that even made this conversation was Terrence Gangsta Williams.
Terrence Gangsta Williams.
That I know there'd be a retaliation behind this stuff, and I didn't do that. Now I understand you want to further your career, and I was trying to help myself too.
Notorious Hot Boy Gang.
It was like, nah, man, we pick certain ones. Wrote a letter to the Fed.
The original Hot Boy. He was locked up with Big Meat.
The Fed was like, listen, man. I also gave him some murders with Sterling and Dooney, so that they was like, man, you know, you tell it on the dead.
Birdman and Slim's brother, Terrence Gangsta Williams, was freed.
This is a way I can get up out of prison. You know, I'm not testifying on no one.
I would like to address the critics. First of all, I've done 23 years and 10 months. I apologize to you all if you thought I was going to die in prison. I'm too shrewd, smart. However, I plan to answer all these questions that a lot of these social media guys, internet gangsters, had something to say about.
Now, unlike what some people believe, yo, telling on the dead ain't getting you out of no serious situation. It ain't getting you out of no RICO. It ain't getting you out of no murder charge. It ain't getting you out of any charge that carries a 20-year sentence or more. But you got these guys like Terrence Williams who tried to convince people that he did. Terrence Williams successfully convinced the world that he just told on the dead. And that's how he got his life sentence with the feds reducted. And y'all, that's not what happened. And in this video, I'm explaining to y'all and show y'all verifiable proof that ain't none of these guys just tell on the dead. Terrence Williams did a lot more than just tell on the dead, y'all. Terrence Williams got correctional officers arrested. Terrence Williams also got other inmates arrested. And Terrence Williams cooperated on Habizo. The Honorable Lamel, it's a pleasure to be writing you concerning this matter, in which I'm writing in regard of finding closure in my life. Likewise, I would like to apologize for not being totally truthful with you. My past decisions were mainly because I was young, arrogant, afraid, and just plain ignorant. As the years have slowly elapsed, I've often thought about my life and relived my past, as well as how my decisions has caused me grave pain and suffering, which has also affected the lives of others. Your Honor, my conscience has gotten the best of me. Therefore, I feel it's only right that I try to make amends for my conduct. There's a saying that goes something like this: we live and we learn and we move on. However, I can't move on until I do what's right. That is, coming clean with you concerning the two murders. Your Honor, once again, after reading my resentencing hearing transcript, page 21 through 24, I felt the right thing to do was reach out to authorities. I have mailed a letter to the state concerning this homicide, including an affidavit to Mr. Dardria concerning this situation. Also, I have spoken with HF agent Mike concerning Mr. Benjamin's upcoming trial. I have given him information as to why Twin was killed. Mike wanted me to come and testify, but Mr. Coleman said that he didn't need me. Your Honor, I'm very mindful that you may have heard everything a person can possibly say when it comes to asking for mercy. Therefore, I will not waste your time with many passive words that one can use. You have my word. I have come clean concerning everything, even the 2 murders. It's all behind me now. Please, Your Honor, give me a release date. I'm not asking now. I'm asking when the Rule 35 letter is written to you concerning a correctional officer that I helped you have arrested. Dear Mr. Jones, may God guide you and set your affairs straight. My name is Terrence E. Williams, REG 25958-034. The nature of this letter is to bring to the attention of the parish or New Orleans that I have some very valuable, irrefutable information concerning 2 homicides and 1 attempt murder in which I was an eyewitness to these crimes in October and December 1997. I witnessed Colin Keynes being murdered on October 8, 1997, and Terrence Benjamin shot several times, also in December 1997. I witnessed Ishmael Fernandez being murdered. If your office is interested in filing a writ to bring me back to New Orleans to testify to these crimes, please let me know. I await your response, and thank you very kindly. Sincerely, Terrence E. Williams. Affidavit in support of sentence reduction. I, Terrence Williams, over 21 years of age, and competent to make this affidavit in support of my forthcoming federal Rules Criminal Procedure, Rule 35, that will be filled on my behalf based on the true facts of the following declaration. I personally witnessed Donald Dyer kill Ishmael Fernandez in front of my house located at 2807 Willow Street, New Orleans, Louisiana. This happened on December 26, 1997. Also, I witnessed Alton Peterson shoot several rounds into a vehicle that Travis Benjamin was driving, of which one of the bullets struck the victim, Collins Keynes. I will testify to these events in a court of law and indictments and prosecution to solve these 2 murders. That upon conviction and deposition of these 2 murders, I will be awarded a sentence reduction pursuant to Federal Rule 35B. Now, when I say cooperated, as y'all can see, he cooperated. He was ready and willing to testify and do whatever he needed to do to secure this sentence reduction. And this happened over a course of 20 years, y'all. So this narrative that he tried to spin where I was locked up for so long and I just decided to cooperate, no. Terrence Williams started cooperating almost immediately. It first started with inmates, and then it transferred on to correctional officers. Then that's when he thought of this bright idea of telling on the dead. But it wasn't a bright idea, even though it worked. It just showed that Terrence Williams doesn't have morals. Terrence Williams doesn't have principles. Terrence Williams will put himself in a situation, and in order to get out his situation, he'll put you there. That's dishonorable. He called it shrewd. I call it disgraceful. But Terrence Williams isn't the only one that tried to pull this play on the people. Y'all remember FBG Butta?
If you ain't gonna say what you said, motherfuckers ain't gonna, cause I told motherfucker what I said. I told motherfucker, hey, boy, what? My homie got killed. What the fuck could I say? A nigga blicked my homie. I told motherfucker they killed my homie. Folks dead anywhere it go. I'm a snitch cause I told on dead person. You know how many people tell on dead people?
I had seen Drill Wick, 051 Drill on No Jumper, and they asked him the question specifically like, is snitching on the dead or is telling on the dead considered snitching? And he said, nah, how is that? You know what I mean? Did you see that?
Like, it's self-explanatory, you know? Mm-hmm. I feel like if my dog, Lil Mikey, had that chance, he did it too. You know? But if he did though, so he had to stand tall. See, it be situations where motherfuckers have to stand tall. You know? In this situation, like, it's
so if K.I. would have been alive, you wouldn't have been able to.
No.
You would have been sitting basically.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'd still be in jail.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you know what I'm saying? If I'm in jail and she was free on, bro, I'd still be in that bitch, for sure. Yeah.
FBG Butta testified on the old Block 6 and successfully convinced the world that he just told on the dead. That's what he did, y'all. You heard him on the stand. Like, for me, just, you know, basic common knowledge. How can somebody get on the stand in a live trial but convince the world they just told on the dead? No, that's not what FBG Butta did. Similar to Sosa, and I'm going to explain Sosa's situation last, but FBG Butta provided background information into a years-long feud that led to the death of FBG Duck. At least that's what the federal narrative is. That's why when you hear his testimony, he takes it way back to how it first started, and he brings it more current and talks about all the people that died in the midst of this so-called gun war, because that was the narrative that the federal government was trying to present to the jury, that this was a years-long feud between two different factions, and it ended in FBG death. And FBG Butta participated in that. So on the outside, it might look that he told on the dead, but no, he provided clarity. He provided insight, you know. He was one of the guys that, remember when the beef first started, he's the person in the trial that made it make sense. Y'all believe me? Check it out.
And when you say hit, what do you mean? I got shot in my leg. Who shot you in your leg? Vaughn. Good afternoon, Mr. Wilton. Good afternoon. So, where we left off before lunch, we were talking about O.D. Perry and what gang he was a member of before his death in 2011. Do you recall that? Yes, ma'am. And I asked you what OTF was. What? Can you repeat it? Yeah. What is O? Your mic skip. I'm sorry, sir. What is OTF? OTF is only the family. BDs. You said BDs? Yeah. So, OTF is Black Disciples. Yeah. Is OTF a name for one set of the Black Disciples or multiple sets of the Black Disciples? Objection, Judge. Foundation. Time. You asked questions about the time. You said OTF is a group of Black Disciples. Was that the case in 2011 when OD died? No. They was just Lamron. They were just Lamron? Yeah. OTF kind of followed right behind OD Perry. You get OTF maybe 2013? So 2012, pardon me. It was 2012. OTF, it was like really just like a little abbreviation that was getting quoted at first because everybody was talking about only the gang, only the family, shit like that. But it was taken serious maybe like 2013. I would say, yeah. 2013 is when OTF, only the family, started getting used. Yeah, like, and when you say getting used for the group of the Black Disciples, can you repeat that? I didn't hear you. When you said 2013, that's when it was used to refer to groups of the Black Disciples, correct? I mean, nah, because like I had said earlier, you know, it's not only Black Disciples when you're speaking upon that. Okay, so I just want to understand. So was O-Block a part of OTF? Yeah. I wasn't trying to get bait, so I ain't going down the alley. And when you say I wasn't trying to get bait, what do you mean? I wasn't trying to get killed. And why did you believe the people in the alley were trying to kill you? Why wouldn't they? Their ass ain't supposed to be over there, man. They ain't all black with pipes. I just got shot in the legs. They weren't supposed to be there. Was they referring to T-Roy? Uh-huh. And why did you say that? T-Roy was not supposed to be in the alley. Because they not from over there. They ain't from our block. We from SCL. And they from that way. They all the other side of King Drive. And is they O-Block? Uh-huh. I want to go back to some questions about Vaughn. Was Vaughn a member of a gang? Yeah, he was BD. So he was BD? Was he in a similar section or faction of the Black Disciples? I don't even know what you mean by that. Honestly, can you reiterate your words? Yeah, so you said T-Roy was O-Block, right? Right. Was Vaughn O-Block? Yeah. And yesterday you testified that O-Block was a rival of STL, correct? Yeah. On the day that you were shot and your sister was killed, April 11th, 2014, is that the date? Yeah. Was O-Block a rival of STL in April of 2014? I mean, who wasn't a rival of STL at this point, you know? But yeah, everybody was dick holding as usual. So O-Block was a rival of STL on that day? Yeah, uh-huh. Did the Chicago Police Department contact you after the shooting? Hell yeah. They was aggressive as hell. I blocked them bitches on bro. Stop answering the phone for the asshole, too. So you said you blocked them? Hell yeah. Put their ass on a block list quick as hell. I mean, I'm not doing no harm in talking about a dead person. I mean, I get paid on YouTube to do the same thing. Talk about dead people and shit that they did. Because no one can go to jail for it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like anything outside, like me putting a motherfucking jail, I'm not going to do that. I'm not participating in that shit. So you weren't going to participate in putting Vaughn in jail when was alive? Is that what you're saying? Of course not.
If you listen to the federal government line of questioning, it was all centered around these gangs and how these gangs was formed and who participated in these gangs and these murders and who done these murders. And you heard FBG Butta response to everything. So like I said, it may sound like on the surface that he just told on the dead, but no, he did way more than that. Way more than that. He gave the federal government a play-by-play analysis of how everything went on and what could have possibly led to the death of FBG Duck. Now, we all know O-Block 6 has been found guilty, convicted. Not sentenced yet. I think due to the witness testimony, FBG Butta and Trenches News and others, I think this case, even the malicious prosecution of the federal government, I think this case is in limbo. But that's what brings me on to Sosa. Because as you just heard, Sosa, he tried to run the same narrative, the same play that he just told on the dead. Similar to FBG Butta. But that's not what happened. None of these guys just told on the dead. Terrence Williams told on everybody. He wanted out. He'd have told on his mother if he knew she committed a crime. FBG Butta provided background information of what led to a beef that could have possibly ended FBG Duck life. Yne Sosa did the same. Now, if you're not familiar with Yne Sosa's story, I got a video that details everything, but I'm going to give it to y'all in short form. Yne Sosa was involved in, I guess, a feud with some guys from his projects. This is the narrative that he's trying to paint in the paperwork that ultimately got exposed. And it led to countless shootings, countless murders. And it was all centered around a situation that he had, but he survived. He survived, got locked up in Alabama, and decided to flip the table over and take everybody down. So, though it may seem like niggas telling on the dead and, you know, people giving people a pass for telling on the dead, but yo, telling on the dead alone ain't gonna get you home, y'all. These people want bodies, not dead bodies. They'll take them. You know, you might get a couple points reducted or a couple years reducted. You know, you give up some murders of some dead people. Yeah, you know, because they like solving cases too. But this is a money game. You mean to tell me they got a man with a life sentence or a 30-year sentence looming? You know how much money they can profit off this person while he's incarcerated? You think they're going to let this person go and don't fill a seat of this person? Don't fill the cell of this person who they letting go? No, that game don't work like that. It don't work like that. You're going to have to provide substantial assistance, like all of these guys did, to get out of certain situations. So, the point of this video is not about to glorify the streets or none of that. It's about getting the narrative correct. The narrative is important. And when you have these situations, it's imperative that we understand exactly what went on, so we don't be lied to and misled by rats, because that's what they do. Like I said, most rats lie, steal, cheat, some kill. And if you look at all these situations and listen to all these guys' story and how manipulative that they tell these stories and the way that they telling these stories, it makes perfect sense as to what I'm saying. But let me know how y'all feel about it. Some comments. It's another day of Keeping G News, and I'm out.
Yeah, I know y'all acting bluffing. Oh, you ain't supposed to be in there talking, but I'm Sosa. I do what the fuck I want. I've been playing around with them people here for years. Been investigated for years. Been one of them ones for years, so. Yeah, you fake, don't talk. You go in there, be quiet. I go in there, have fun. I do what the fuck I want to do, but man, that shit ain't talking about nothing, though, man. They come at me talking about 20 bodies. I ain't saw one case, man. I ain't got one case. Nobody got convicted of nothing Sosa said. I promise you, by the time you look up, you gonna realize, man, damn. All he did was say he know my main and know this person and know that person. They were childhood friends and da-da-da-da. Other than that, man, I ain't really get on people to you after nothing for them cases, man. Y'all gonna act and put on and y'all, alright, yeah, but come on, man. Y'all, them niggas know that I ain't put them in no hot water, man.
On July 29th, we arrested 14 men, all of whom are from Baltimore City. Specifically, we successfully arrested Walter Epps, Luther Amos, Antoine Benjamin, Wendell Boykins Jr., Davon Brown, Zyquin Coleman, Xavier Cooper, Antonio Curtis, Keith Freisen, James Keene, Mayan Medley, and Gregory Alexander Partlow. 2 additional individuals, Antonio Mason and Darian Whitaker, are currently in state custody on related charges, but were also indicted as part of this investigation and will be brought into federal custody in the near future. As alleged in the charging documents, these individuals conspired to distribute and possess with intent to distribute controlled substances, including fentanyl, heroin, and crack cocaine. These defendants allegedly operated open-air drug street shops in the 1800 blocks of North Cary and Woodyear Streets, commonly referred to as Penn North in West Baltimore. Specifically, according to the indictment, the co-conspirators operated these street shops or open-air markets where they sold narcotics, including fentanyl, heroin, and crack cocaine. In December of 2025, ATF launched a special operation to investigate this group and to bring them to justice. Through surveillance, investigators determined that Epps served as an overseer of one of the street shops and that he worked alongside Amos, Boykins, Brown, Curtis, Keene, Medley, Partlow, and other co-conspirators, each of whom held supervisory roles in the operation. Their responsibilities included coordinating drug sales, resupplying subordinates with drugs, collecting money from subordinates and then counting it after the sales, and in some cases, conducting the drug sales themselves.